They say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet. Gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen. In Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by the city of Stanford, Kentucky. Come back home to Stanford. L81 Bottling Company. Taste, love, and share the tradition. Woods Equipment Company has every tool you need to make working the land as rewarding as hunting it. Good Foods Co-op, Marksbury Farm Market, Weisenberger Mill, your village shop.
Hello and welcome to Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. Different kitchen.
Because it's cold outside.
If you see us in this kitchen, then there's weather situations going on. It's either really hot, or it's really cold.
Or it's pouring rain.
There's pouring rain, or snow.
And I don't want to go up the hill, I'm too lazy.
Yeah. We love the cabin, we love to cook outside, and we'd normally be outside doing farm things,
right.
But that's not going to happen today, trust me. All right, that being said, something we haven't done. I think we've done your turkey, wild turkey recipe
right.
where we fried it, and then we put it in the oven. But we haven't done a fried chicken show.
And you've got a good fried chicken.
So you know what? For years, I wanted to imitate Colonel Sanders. Absolutely loved his recipes. The guy knew how to cook.
Right.
He had a way with putting the right seasonings in, so on and so forth. Now, he had 11 herbs and spices.
You got more than that.
Or so he said. So what I tried to do years ago was sit down and figure out what he used. Everybody's done that.
But you're good at that. You're good at tasting and smelling.
Well,
you do a good job.
What happens when you go taste Kentucky Fried Chicken? What do you come away with at the end? What's
pepper.
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 Black pepper is the flavor that's left in my mouth. Mm-hmm. And there's a sweetness, there's something that you can't even explain.
But look what you have here.
Well, you know. So you go way back to the root of the thing. You know he used buttermilk, and here's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to take these pieces of chicken. They're boneless, skinless thighs.
Our favorite. That's our favorite.
We love thighs. Now some people like breasts, so on and so forth. Thighs, juicy. It's
dark meat.
A little bit of dark meat. That's just what we like. That's just us. I'm going to go ahead and take them. Now these, it's very important. These have been sitting out for a while, room temperature. Our buttermilk, which we have right here, is room temperature. We're going to soak these pieces in buttermilk.
Why do you do that? Tenderizes them? Or?
Tenderizes them, and it's got a sweet taste, and it gets them all juiced up and ready for the batter. So I'm not trying to make Kentucky Fried Chicken batter here. What I'm trying to make is a good chicken batter.
This is called Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen Chicken.
Oh.
It's a big name.
Now there's certain things that we're going to share. Some things we won't share. We won't share our green bean recipe. Yeah. We do that in our catering. We can't. That's a secret.
That's wonderful.
Michael wants it. I'm not going to give it to him.
Don't give it to Michael.
For most things we are going to share, but that's a top secret. I've been working on that for years. Now this, again, is not Kentucky Fried Chicken, but I want that taste. I want that after. I wouldn't say it's better, man.
It's pretty good.
Fried Chicken's
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
So here's where we're going to start. We're going to let our chicken soak in buttermilk. I know he did that because I saw an old film of him doing that.
Okay.
Now, depending on how much chicken you have, this is just for us.
Right.
But if you got a bunch, just multiply this. 1 cup of flour is where we're going to start. And the stuff that we put in here, you can change accordingly. Now, here was the breakdown. I've done some checking. People seem to think that he used Cherry pepper.
Did you call Glenn about all these peppers?
Glenn would not approve the amount of pepper we're going to put in here. The Pepper Bandit would not approve. But
you do have that taste. There was also something I really couldn't place. Now, if you go way back, I'd be willing to bet you that they used MSG. I'm not sure, but I think they did. Now, today, if you wanted to use that, there are people who have varying ideas about that. This is accent, MSG, to use or not to use. I'm not going to use it. I've heard a lot of stuff. But here's what they were thinking. This is called Out of Kentucky Kitchens. There's some really great recipes in here, and we've seen this before. But this is what this says about gourmet powder.
That's
At
what
the
they
very
called it?
front of the book, it says
Gourmet.
MSG, the element of deliciousness. Many years ago, a friend of mine introduced me to gourmet powder. Put the tiniest pinch in sauces and gravy, she told me, and it will give them a subtle, intangible flavor. I accordingly bought a whole carton of small flat bottles of gourmet powder, each accompanied by a tiny silver scoop, to measure out the precious powder termed by the Chinese who originated it the element of deliciousness.
Precious powder.
This goes on and on. So back in the day, everybody was using it, and it does enhance flavors. So if you want to try that, you're
Just a
more than
pinch.
welcome. I'm not going to do it. I am instead going to load up with the flavors that we know. Now, I thought the old kernel was sharp. So what happened here, I began this quest. Okay, what if it was just salt and pepper?
Tastes better than salt and pepper.
We tried salt and pepper.
Right.
So I tried to build on that base. We knew that it was fairly salty. We knew that it had pepper in it. Years ago, when I tried to mimic what the Colonel was doing, I ended up with some pretty good chicken. Now we have a deep fryer here. Now you can do this in a skillet as well on the stove. Pay special attention to your temperature. Try not to let your oil get above 350 degrees. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. Now,
much you need?
in this cup of flour, this is 2 teaspoons of black pepper, restaurant grade.
Okay.
Including some telecherry pepper. There were some people who did some research and they seemed to think that maybe that was one of his secrets. I think I'm going to go with the marjoram. I think we put about, let's go 3/4, let's say. All right, let's come back with 1 teaspoon of oregano. Now, you smell that?
That smells
it's
good.
already smelling pretty good. Now, the salt end of it, let's go 1 1/2.
All right.
I don't want it to be too salty. And if you're on doctor's orders, pay attention to what he says. We're going to really go with the peppers on this. White pepper. We had
Okay.
this in our turkey chili not too long ago. Let's put 1/4 teaspoon
All right.
white pepper in there. When you fry chicken or you cook chicken, generally there are spices that go with it. You know, sage, thyme. I'm going to leave the thyme out, but I'm going to take some sage.
Okay.
And I'm going to put a good dash of sage in
So
there.
a dash. What's a dash?
A dash is
Whatever you think.
that much.
Okay.
All right, something else that I like a little bit of is celery salt. Okay, now we're getting some extra salt here. I cut back a little bit. We're going to do a dash of that. All right, let's come back with 1 teaspoon of basil. All right, more subtleties with the pepper. Let's go 1/2 teaspoon of lemon pepper.
All right.
Just get a little bit of that lemon flavor in there with the pepper. Now we're going to come back with, let's go 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder and onion powder.
Okay.
So paprika, we're going to do a dash. Then some chili powder. We're going to do a dash of that. One thing that we know that he did is he pressure cooked his chicken in oil. I saw something online recently where a fella put oil in his pressure cooker.
Was that
A
bad?
conventional pressure cooker. Do not do that. Now, why is that chicken, when you eat it, the bones are so soft that you can almost break them? It's because it's pressure cooked. Now, those flavors are pressured into the chicken itself. So that's one secret that he has that we don't do and are not going to do. I don't want to get that involved. I just want to be able to have a good chicken batter and be able to have a good taste, a good round, wonderful taste that stays on your tongue for a long time. You think, hey, that's good. That's what we tried to do. That's a pretty good smelling base right there. Now, this is, again, after a lot of trial and error, a whole lot of trial and error. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and turn our grease up. Make sure you have a thermometer to check your temperature. You don't want your grease going much above 350 degrees. Now, what's going to happen is if you don't let your chicken get room temperature, it's going to really drop the temperature of your oil.
Right.
And then it's going to cut it back. Now, you can do this with the skin on, bone in. It's going to take a little bit longer. But we're just going to make ourselves some quick, yummy chicken. while that's heating up, we're going to set all this aside. Now remember, even our buttermilk has got almost to room temperature. We're going to set this out of the way.
I got a question for you.
What?
What's this? I like it.
Hey, what's this?
You grew a beard. I like it. Can I like rub my face on it?
Whoa. This
like
is a
it.
cooking show, lady.
Wow, I like it. It looks nice on you, really.
So you like it?
I like it. You forgot to shave this morning?
Well, it's several days I forgot to
Okay.
shave.
I like it. It's nice.
So you like that ruffle?
I do like the ruffle.
Stop it! It's a family show. But you know what? Here we are. You got me sidetracked. Quit
Okay.
that. We got our batter over here. 4 years. This is our
Wow.
4th year we've been doing this show. Now, Colonel Sanders started down around, I think it was around Corbin. Somebody in that original restaurant took down a recipe he gave them
Wow.
for their tomato
I remember
dish
that.
he had. Okay, she made that on the show. It was years ago. We're going to share that with you tonight because we've been talking about him so much. We're going to do more of an overview recipe. We're going to clean this stuff up, get it out of the
Okay.
way. I'm going to let you do that because
Okay.
that has turned into a wonderful side that we enjoy with a lot of things. He was an amazing man, you know, to be able to take spices, 11 herbs and spices, and then to be able to, he must have had an olfactory system. Mm-hmm. He had a nose on him. The
Yes, he
man
did.
could taste. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do a quick and easy green recipe. Now, most of the times you really have to let your greens cook down, and by the time they're kind of soggy, we've got the quickest, easiest green recipe. We're going to take some kale tonight and turn it into a quick and easy turnaround. What's
delicious.
it take?
Just a
Maybe
few
4
minutes,
minutes. It's wonderful. Let's get this mess cleaned up, get you started on your tomato thing, and then we got some kale coming later.
Okay.
All right. So where did you find this recipe, Mrs. Farmer?
You know what? I went to timfarmerscountryKitchen.com
Printed it off,
and I
didn't you?
printed it off. Yes, isn't that nice?
You know what? A lot of times we've done these recipes and they're way back. And if we think you might not have seen it, well, we're going to bring some of these back because we've been doing this for a long time.
It's a great recipe.
So you like the beard?
I do like your beard.
So
It's soft.
like Jeremiah Johnson?
You know what? You are. You look really rough and rugged.
Who do you like the best, Jeremiah? Robert
You.
Redford in the beard or me?
You. Well, you.
Hey,
You definitely. I was just
hey.
teasing.
Do I look studious?
You do.
Just want to smoke a pipe?
No, don't smoke
Okay,
a
I
pipe.
won't smoke a pipe. Now, scalloped tomatoes. Again, this is Colonel Sanders' original recipe. He wrote it down on a napkin.
That's amazing.
So tell me the overview on this, and then we're going to go ahead and get this started. Then we got to get back to the
All
chicken.
right, I went right from the recipe. What I did is took 4 pieces of bacon. Again, you see right here, and set them aside.
Try not to eat that.
I know, don't eat it because we need all of it. And I kept the bacon grease because we're now going to take a small onion, which I've chopped up really small, and we're going to saute that until they get translucent like you like them.
Onions and bacon.
Yum. And then we're going to take 2 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of flour, add that in there, mix it, and we're going to add...
Thicken it up.
Yes, thicken it up. And then we're going to add a canned, probably about a 14.5 ounce, I think it is, of stewed tomatoes.
Gotcha.
About
Or you
14
can
ounce-
stew your own tomatoes.
Right, stew your own
Choose to do
tomatoes.
so.
And we're going to mix that up until it gets warm and bubbly, chop it up.
I already know what that tastes like.
Yum.
Just, I could drink that right there.
I took a little taste, it's pretty good.
Now, as we're setting here, we're not ashamed to see that we have our Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen recipe. We basically went to timfarmerscountrykitchen.com,
Right.
clicked on recipes, and downloaded this, printed it, took it right to our kitchen. That's what we did today ourselves.
Look at the pretty picture. That's wonderful.
Beautiful picture.
All right. Well, now we have.
Now, don't forget that you put a little bit of salt and pepper in here
Yes.
to taste. Now, he was heavy on the pepper on everything.
I was gonna do a little more
That was
pepper.
kind of his signature. We busted our tomatoes up here. We're ready to go. What's the next step?
All right, we're going to crumble the bacon. And if you want to help me, just crumble the toast
I'm
too.
going to crumble this one right here. Like, oh.
That's not good.
What happened?
Is it good? Let's break that out nice. You get that?
Go ahead.
And the same with the toast.
We got bacon and tomatoes.
How can you
and
go wrong?
onion.
I was going to tear this up. You could cut it, but I think they said he used to tear it. So let's be like Colonel Sanders.
You know, Kentucky's known for a lot of things, but worldwide, I can't imagine us being known more for anything than the good Colonel. His face is in China and all over the place. People love Kentucky Fried Chicken wherever you go.
They still serve this, don't they, at Claudia Sanders?
I think they do.
This dish right here.
You know what? This is a BLT in a bowl.
That looks good.
That does look good. It smells heavenly. So, we're getting there. So that's going to be, what, a half hour?
Half hour while you make the chicken.
It gives me
Ready?
enough time to get the chicken going.
All
I'll
right.
open it for you. All right. Stop it.
Okay.
It's family show.
Okay.
Okay, here we are. We're back to our batter.
Yes.
Back to our batter. Our chicken has been soaking. It's room temperature. You want that before you drop it in the oil. All right, let's go ahead and take this buttermilk.
Okay.
That's a cup of buttermilk.
1 cup.
Look how thick it is. I remember my great-grandmother drinking that like it was just...
Drinking it?
Oh, she loved to
Wow.
drink it.
An egg.
And an egg.
Whisk that up for
Whip
you.
that up. Now, you could very well use the same buttermilk you had, but for tonight's purposes, we're going to do just as such. So we're going to take our chicken out. It's been soaking for a long while. Now, again, this is skinless and boneless, so it's kind of laid out. It's a little bit thinner than it would be if it had the bone in it. See, like I'm saying there? So it's almost going to be like a chicken steak. You could put it in there like that and hope it stays together. Or you could lay it out like a big chicken, fried chicken. So let's take this piece right here. Okay? Now, if you just had a piece of plain fish or chicken or whatever, you'd want to initially roll that into flour, which holds up.
So that's your fancy seasoning.
That then into the buttermilk. And then, oh no, what's happening? We're going back into the wonderful, how many herbs and spices? 16.
I think you had 16. That's right. At
There's a
least.
bunch of them in there. So I'm going to coat that nice and heavy. We've kind of double dipped it there. And then we're going to take this over here, and I've checked the oil. Just because your gauge says something, you might want to have a thermometer to check to make sure. I'm going to drop that in there. Let's just go 2 pieces for you and me.
Okay.
Okay, let's drop that in here again. Back into the
Yum.
buttermilk and egg, and back in. Now, if it was all rolled out and flat, I would probably go, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes. But we're going to go about 11 to 12 minutes on this. Make sure we're nice and good. Our temperature, we start out typically at about 350 degrees. That temperature's going to drop. Make sure you're at least 320, 330 degrees while it's cooking. Let's let that go for a minute.
That looks good. It smells
Now we're going to let
delicious.
that sit there and continue to cook. We're going to deal with some kale over here. We know where this kale was grown locally.
Right.
We like that. We know where to get it. We know where it comes from. Now we're going to take some onions, and if you will, just cut me off some
Just some thin?
some thin rings. I talked to some folks recently. I tried their kale in a restaurant, and I said, "What did you do?" And they said, "We used Bragg liquid aminos, and it's all-purpose seasoning from soy protein. Now it's GMO-free, no preservatives. If you can't eat salt, this is really
An
tasty.
alternative?
It tastes like soy. It's wonderful. It's just special stuff. Now some people like it, some people don't. That's your call. But let me tell you what, I like it. Now what we're going to do is so simple. My mouth's watering just thinking about it. Olive oil
Okay.
in a little pan. We're going to do just enough for you and I.
Okay.
We're going to take some olive oil and we're going to put it in the bottom of the pan, saute these onions. When those get just about done, we're going to start putting the kale in there and letting that wilt down over top of that.
Okay.
When that's almost wilted as much as it can, we're going to take some of this spray on there, then come back with just a little bit of apple cider vinegar.
Yummy.
Those combination of flavors, that's all you need.
Really?
Onions, kale, this, and boom, you're ready to go. Let's get that ready to go. We're almost there.
Okay. It smells good. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Look at here, Miss Farmer. Let's plate this
Delicious.
up. You know, a lot of times you'll get greens and they're kind of, really kind
Wow.
of soupy. These still have some texture. Just basically olive oil with your onion sauteed. Then you just wilt your kale down on top of that, spray it with a little liquid amino, and come
Yum.
back with just a little bit of apple cider
They look delicious.
vinegar. That's just enough for you and I.
All right.
Took no time at all. You don't have to cook them down all day. Now that's a good looking bunch of greens right there. We'll just share.
All right, and I'll get you some of our tomato dish here. Look at the pretty colors.
Yeah. Oh, the smells though might be trumping the colors. And look at
Wow.
these. Look at these pieces of chicken. Tell me that doesn't look scrumptious.
That looks scrumptious.
Now, let's just sit here and look at it for a minute.
All right, we probably should eat it. We should just go like this.
Oh, yeah. You like my beard?
I do like your beard.
But you know what? Then when I shave it off, you like me. You must like me anyway.
Did you put lotion on it?
No, I don't put lotion.
Wow. Okay.
All right, what do we do? Where do we start? I'm gonna let you start. You
I
go wherever you want to go.
I guess a tomato. I'm gonna try one of these
Okay,
tomato
I'm gonna go
things.
for the chicken.
Delicious. I'm gonna try your kale. How do you like the chicken? Really good?
Let me tell you what.
I'm saving that for last. Your kale's amazing. I'll steal some of yours.
Oh, it's not too shabby.
That looks good.
Now, the great thing about cooking is, if you got time, take your time, sit down. Ooh.
That coating's amazing.
Let me tell you what, 10 years from now, I might be fixing that different, but we're going to be eating this just like this
That's
for a
perfect.
long time. Ooh, look at that. It's
That's
just
good.
wrong. There's nothing wrong with
The
that.
coating's good. I love your kale. This is very good.
You still end up with the pepper? I'll tell you what, that's pretty good stuff right there. You like the kale?
I love this.
Yeah,
That
just
is
a
amazing.
little bit. You like that?
Wow, that's almost my favorite thing here. That's so good.
And you know what? You're talking about good for you. There's no salt in there.
These are always good. Chicken's delicious.
Everything's wonderful.
Thank you. Tell me good.
You know, again, earlier we talked about if you want to see where we're going or what we're doing, check out our Facebook page. Make sure you like it. Become our friends. See where we're going, what we're doing. We have the best friends in the world on
Yeah, we
Farmer's
do.
Country Kitchen. And if you see these recipes and think, ooh, I'd like to try that, well, guess what? Hundreds and hundreds of recipes.
Right.
Now, we have a show that's been on the air for 4 years, and we do more shows than most people. So there's a lot of recipes out there. TimFarmersCountryKitchen.com. Click on recipes or click on shows that you haven't seen before.
Can't stop, can you?
And meanwhile, we'll just keep on eating. You know what? That's outstanding.
Always.
Very similar to something we get right down the road.
Kale's delicious. Your chicken's amazing.
Try that, Cal. Any health food store, you can find that stuff.
Okay.
Just spray a little bit on it. You'll find out how much you need. I think I did like 5 or 6 little sprays,
It's perfect.
and then just a little apple cider vinegar. And man, oh man, this is down home cooking. Easy, quick. You can do this in your skillet. You don't have to have a deep fryer. We just want to try it like that. But I'm going to tell you what, that looks like the real deal. And it tastes mighty good if I do say so myself. What do you think?
Your coating's delicious.
At this point, we have nothing left to do but to talk about the fact that this show is all about
Good times.
good friends.
And wonderful good eats.
And we're going to continue to eat right now. Excuse us.
To order a cookbook or DVD of the show, please call 502-319-0487 or email timfarmerck@gmail.com. Special thanks to Furniture World Superstore, Housewarmings, Lodge Cast Iron, Tater Knob Pottery and Farm. Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen is brought to you by Diamond Gusset Jeans, the original Gusset Jean. Careful craftsmanship, continual improvement. Diamond Gusset Jeans, born and worn in the USA since 1987.
Is it the insightful strategies and analytical capabilities that make Edward Jones one of the biggest financial services firms in the country? Or is it 13,000 financial advisors who take the time to say thank you?
Night, Jim. Gonna be a while?
I am, Liz. Got a little writing to do.
It's why Edward Jones is the big company that doesn't act that way.